Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. On this channel we talk about cake baking tips, cake decorating tips, and everything in between. My name is Titilayo, by the way. If you are new here, welcome. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, click on the like button and turn on post notification. Today we'll be decorating this wood effect cake. First off, I'll be trimming the cake and I'll be leveling it with a plumb just to make sure it's leveled. So not to distract you, I'm just trimming the last layer, which is our signature vanilla cake. Look at that. So let's get back to what we're talking about. I'm just trying to show off the vanilla cake. So I'm going to put it on top and trim the sides of the cake. So because of course it's a fondant cake, I'm absolutely going to trim the sides to have a very smooth body, and that's what I'm doing here. What I do to achieve a perfect trimming is to trim up and down. So I just allow the knife to flow. I place it carefully on the side, like very level to the side of the cake, and then I trim the base. Then I flip it over to trim the upper part, so everything becomes leveled. Then I move on to crumb coat the cake, and then we're going to be using the paneling method. I already placed the fondant on top of the cake. I'm flipping it all over now to remove the excess and also add the fondant to the side of the cake. Before placing your fondant on the side of the cake, ensure that you've already measured the height of your cake and then the width, so that's the total circumference. You take your measuring tape and measure all around, so that's the measurement you are going to use to measure out your fondant, so you don't have unnecessary excess and you don't waste your fondant. So I'm just trimming all of the edges, so once I place on the cake, I just place it straight up. See that I'm actually measuring it to be sure. Here comes the juicy part of this cake making. We're making a wood effect, right? So all you need to do is get a wood effect mat. There's a mat for wood effect. Then after you might have kneaded and rolled out your fondant, you carefully place the mat on it and use a rolling pin to bring out the pattern, just like I'm doing. You would see the pattern soon enough. Now we're about to place the fondant on the sides. Roll it on a rolling pin. Don't forget to put water on the edges so that the new fondant glues to the edges, and then we roll it all over the cake. Remember, it's paneling method, so we use water on the two edges to glue them together. Thankfully this is a wood effect, so we are not looking out for perfection. We're just going to make it come true, looks like a wood, and there we go. So like I said, it's a wood effect, so we are not looking out for sharp edges. I'm just going to use my hand to make an effect, just to give it a kind of rough effect, and that's what I'm doing. Still making more and more effects on the body of the cake, I'm using a modeling tool to just make a line to make it appear as if the cake comes with a line. Then on the top, I didn't use the mat, so I'm just using the tool to create an effect, drawing some lines. By the time we finish painting these, you would see what I'm talking about. Let's go. here's the second tier. I'm going to be using the bucket method to cover the second tier. To achieve a sharp edge, I flipped it over and then I used the smoother to push it down, and then I'm going to trim out the excess. I'm spraying it gold and I'm going to be using this manual pump. It works just like an airbrush and it's quite affordable. You can get it in most local stores around you. To achieve the wood effect, I'm going to be using edible spirit and color. So the color is brown color. You can get chocolate brown and or normal brown. It does the work. So I'm going to be mixing. I've already used the brush to pick some brown color. I mix it with edible spirit and then would paint away. To give it another effect, I dip the brush right into the color and then I put the color on the body of the cake. So what that does is that it gives it a very good effect. Like you have some dark spots and a part that is very light. Just a mix of color. It makes it look real. So anytime I make wood effect cake, I always like the effect, and I used to feel myself. See, I even gave you guys the peace out. So now this is the next day. It's already dried, and I'm transferring it to the boards that we would use. Because it's a tiered cake, we would need support. So we use dowel rod, separating board, and a central dowel. So the central dowel runs from the top tier to the base tier. The dowel rods are going to be inside the base tier. The separating board will sit on that, and the last tier is going to sit on the separating board. Because cake is food and people are going to eat it, the central dowel has been wrapped carefully with cling film so that the rod doesn't have contact with food. Now I'm placing the top tier onto the cake, and there you go. putting some final touches, adding flowers, to just give it an infusion of the old and new, kind of a trendy and old school vibe. So the wood effect, the flowers, and the gold on the top. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please subscribe to my channel, turn on post notification, click on the like button, and share with your friends. Now this is how the cake looks right after we finish decorating. Super pretty, if I must say so myself, isn't it? I'll see you in my next video. Bye.